welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider, coming at you from the Mullins Center in Amherst, Massachusetts. My name's Jay Burnham, voice of the Minutemen, alongside Nathan Strauss, and we've got a fun-filled episode for you this month. We're going to visit with both men's and women's basketball head coaches and also have a word with Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford. We'll also hear from UMass basketball star player Matt Cross. But first, a little recapping for you, Nathan, as it's been a very busy couple of weeks here in Amherst. Let's start with hockey and the beginning to the season that this team has had. It's really been thrilling.
They've been awesome. They had a record-setting weekend at the Mullins Center with attendance against Michigan to open up back in October. They've gone on the road, swept a ranked Minnesota State team. They've had 2 come-from-behind wins against a ranked Providence team. And then they went to Harvard the day after Thanksgiving and had a barn burner, a 6-5 win. And they've had some really key players added to this team as well. Lucas Vanderboys, one of the best in the nation in faceoffs. Jack Musa, the freshman who's leading the team in points. And of course, returners Scott Morrow, Ryan Ufko, and Lucas Mercury putting up some huge numbers.
7th in the pairwise, 10 in the national poll. This team continues to win those close games. You mentioned you swept the games against Providence, both by 1 goal, 1 in overtime. And then that game against Harvard that you mentioned, UMass fans descending upon the barn of Harvard to take over that game. And I think head coach Greg Carville mentioned something about that after the game as well, about that fan support.
Yeah, he said it's what the team deserves, and it's absolutely what they got from the Boston-based alumni who came out there. It was a lot of fun being there, and the team really appreciates that kind of support, whether it's at the Mullins Center or on the road.
You got one chance to check out hockey, actually 2 chances in one weekend before the new year. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but we've got basketball on this show. Matt Cross has been an absolute beast on the court. We're going to visit with him a little bit later on. He had a career day, 31 points in the win against Central Connecticut State. He's just such an exciting player to watch, isn't he?
And he really gets the crowd going with him. I feel like sometimes he'll hustle for a rebound, he'll hit a shot, and you can just feel the crowd will roar almost with him. I love when guys can be expressive like that, and there's a reason he's a fan favorite, but also just such a dominant game that he had against Central Connecticut State.
7 freshmen on the men's basketball team. Jalen Curry making a statement in a tough loss against Harvard. Meanwhile, the women's basketball team, whole new roster rotation. We're going to visit with head coach Mike Leffler. It's been a tough start to the season for them, but a very difficult schedule.
Yeah, it's been trial by fire. And of course, you're in year 1 with a new coach and a very new look team. And so the team is having to gel and learn while playing some of the toughest opponents that they'll get. But they've gotten through it. They've got a home game coming up against UMass Lowell, a big Commonwealth Cup match on December 10th. So huge for them to try and gain some momentum going into A-10 play.
Massachusetts football finished the season with 3 wins, the most wins they've had since 2018. A whole lot of accolades for guys like K'Ron Lynch-Adams and Tyson Pumachong, who made a statement this year for the Minutemen on the gridiron. Well, as I mentioned, we're going to visit with Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford in just a moment. But first, take a look at what's coming up here in Amherst. And welcome back as we visit with the Director of Athletics, Ryan Bamford. Ryan, good to see you. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, Jay.
We haven't talked since, the fall sports kind of wound up. So before we get into some of the things that we're going to talk about with football, what were your impressions of the fall sports season here on campus?
Really solid fall across the board. I thought our men's and women's soccer programs had really good competitive seasons. I think those are 2 programs that are right on the next tier of winning championships. Field hockey getting to the championship game, losing a heartbreaker to St. Joe's. That's a program that's nationally top 20. Our men's and women's cross country programs have really good finishes to their season. I think those 2 programs are ascending. So really positive, solid fall across the board. And then football obviously finished up 3-9. Didn't finish in the way we wanted against UConn, missed opportunity there. I think a couple other competitive missed opportunities. Did have some injuries this year, which I think accounted for a little bit of those competitive misses. But I will tell you, I really think the way I evaluate things, I think Don and his group have taken us to the next step, and now I look forward with another good recruiting class to building depth and allowing us to really take another step forward from a competitive success standpoint. We're doing the things we need to do in the community. We're doing the things we need to do in the classroom. And I know everybody's excited to try to get to bowl eligibility, and that's certainly a goal of ours for football.
Yeah, when you look at football, most wins since 2018 in most of the games, some tough losses, one in overtime. And I know you deal with so many questions in the football space. So you've got NIL, you've got transfer portal, you've got changing NCAA rules, realignment, all these things swirling around. So, how do you approach all those items, and where does UMass stand in terms of dealing with those?
Well, you just highlighted there's so many questions right now, and I know that there's not always answers for those, and trying to be as transparent as we can be with our fan base and with our department about where we're headed. Football obviously is driving a lot of things, and we have to find a home for football from a conference standpoint. Living as an independent has been challenging, to say the least, and I think for the growth and potential to meet that potential for our football program, we have to find a home. We're doing really well in the transfer portal. I think that's been an advantage for us as a program. And I would tell you the Midnight Ride Collective has been a real advantage, a strategic advantage in the group of 5. We've built equity there with our donors, with local community businesses. It's allowed our NIL activity to take place in the sport of football. We're doing a good job there. We continue to grow that. That'll help us in recruiting. So we're focused on that intently, but then broader, that idea of finding a conference home, it extends potentially beyond football, and we're exhausting all opportunities there. It is top of mind for me. It has been for months, if not years. It's really since we became an independent program, and I feel like we're at a position of strength right now, and I'm feeling very positive about the momentum that we've built and what that's going to mean for us in the future.
I was going to say, it's pretty much since day one, you've told me, hey, when we became an independent, what's the next move? How do we deal with this, and how do we find a home for football? And that's something maybe that you and I can talk about in depth a little bit more down the line.
I think the opportunity to maybe extend this conversation in a forum that we can share with our fan base and those that have invested in football in our department would be good. And I look forward to maybe getting me the next week and trying to develop that so we can push that out and make sure people hear what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish, and the goals and vision that we have for this department, and especially for the growth and success of our football program.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, he's Director of Athletics, Ryan Bamford. We'll come back with more on the UMass Sports Insider.
At Bay State Health, we are compelled to be a force for good. That compassionate, spirited, and steadfast drive has helped us be the difference for you and so many others within our diverse human family. Every day, in ways big and small, we are humbled and privileged that our impactful care helps you go on to make all the difference in your own world. Together, we have the capacity to transform lives. Bay State Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
You can have live college sports in your hand this year with the brand new Varsity Network app. Hear live, play-by-play, and keep up with your favorite teams and audio broadcasts no matter where you are with this free new app. Be sure to download the Varsity Network app today. This March, you can listen to exclusive Westwood One coverage of the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments for free on the Varsity app. Powered by Learfield. Listen to every game at a truly unique listening experience. It's all free. Search NCAA Championships.
And welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider. We continue on with head coach Frank Martin talking UMass basketball. And coach, your team off to a pretty good start to begin the non-conference. This has been an exciting team to watch on the court so far, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's these guys have been that way since they got on campus back in June. Campus is kind of empty in the summer, and I understand, why people are gone, enjoy the summer. But our guys have been great on campus. They've been great as peers to the other students on campus. They've been very active in the community, very active in the way they go about their business in class and everything else. And then when they go on the court, they play with a certain fire and a certain aggression that's fun to watch. And I think our fans are really, really, students and our season ticket holders are really, really enjoying the way these guys play. Unfortunately, we gave up a game against Harvard where we controlled the game. Like, the game ended and I was disappointed, not mad, because we played to our personality. The ball didn't go in the basket. And we gotta learn how to win those games when the ball doesn't go in the basket. But that was a great learning experience for us.
You talk about playing with fire, playing with aggression. No one symbolizes that better, perhaps, than Matt Cross, who had a career day against Central Connecticut State. What have you seen from him this year?
He's worked, man. He's grown up. I use the word peace with him because I think, and this would probably be better for him to answer than me, but he seems to be at peace with everything, with his environment, with campus, with the people he plays with his coaches, with Colby Hall, our senior assistant athletic director that oversees our academic department. She's been tremendous for him, and he's on his way to get his degree here at the end of the spring. And so it's now you're starting to see growth, man. Nathan, I say this all the time. I didn't get into coaching because I understood what I was getting into. I got into coaching because I wanted to be in sports. But once I got into coaching, I realized that the joy for me in coaching is watching people grow. And when I see Matt Cross in such a much better place, spiritually, personally, basketball-wise, across the board, that's what brings joy to me in coaching.
Speaking of Matt Cross, we're going to hear from him in just a little bit. We're also going to dive into, Coach, the top-ranked recruiting class that you and your staff have brought in the Atlantic 10. But before we do that, one other guy that is one of your upperclassmen. You've got 7 freshmen, and not a ton of guys at the top of seniors and juniors. But Rasul Diggins has been phenomenal at the start of the season. He also had a career day with 22 points. Give us some insight as to the growth that he's made from year 1 being on campus to year 2.
Yeah, I mean, if I keep coaching 7 freshmen, my hair would look like Nathan's. But let's hope that we can keep growing our freshmen, and they can show the progress that guys like Rasul and Matt have made. I'm really happy for Rasul. Last year was difficult for Rasul. He was trying to rediscover his freshman year at UConn was really hard on him. And he was trying to rediscover the confidence that you got to have to succeed. And right in the middle of the whole thing, he goes through 2 ankle sprains and the birth of a child. I say this all the time. My first child was born when I was 33, and it was a complicated moment in my life at 33. I can only imagine having to deal with that at 19 years of age. And but he's worked, man. He's put in time. He goes on the court, shoots 1 million balls a day. So I'm really happy for him. Looking
at the 3 players who have signed to join UMass next year, starting off with Nate Garangomba, what should fans expect from him? He's a bundle of energy, man. He's when I mean a bundle, I mean 6'4", 215 pounds, just aggressive. You walk into a gym, if you don't know who he is, you walk into a gym, immediately you know who he is because of his voice. I mean, he just doesn't stop talking on the court. It's an aggressive, aggression in a positive way. And then he can score. I mean, he's an aggressive, I'm coming at you, I'm strong, I can shoot, and I know what I'm doing. And he makes it really, really hard on defenses. But Nate has a great spirit and unbelievable competitive balance the way he approaches everything.
Another guy that you're bringing in next year is Lewis Walker, 6'6" combo forward from Winston-Salem. Yeah. Give us some insight on him, please.
Yeah, I mean, think Matt Cross. Similar kind of player from a size, strength standpoint. Right now, he can shoot, but he's a guy that, that he's so good off the bounce, attacking the rim, that he's got to learn how to trust his three-point shot. And that's something that I know his high school coach, Antonio Lowe, and him want to get him to a better place here during his senior year. You know, some guys can't shoot. Like a lot of people said, Jalen Njika can't shoot. I was like, no, he can't shoot. He's just trying to make plays to win games. But he works at it, and when he's open, he's going to make shots. And so that's what you've seen from Jaden early in the year. Lewis is the same way, but he's 230 pounds, man. He's 6'6" and can play at the rim, can play facing, has a great feel for getting to the foul line and once again scoring baskets.
Quickly on Luka Damjanic,
Yeah.
a big guy in this class.
Yeah, we built our program at South Carolina with foreign big guys: Lithuania, Estonia, Venezuela, Chile. And, Luka's been trained to play with pros in his club team back home. And he has a great pace to his game, a great understanding how to play the game as a big, and is a great complement to the other two guys we just talked about.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck this weekend against South Florida. We always appreciate it.
We'll look forward to it. Hopefully our fans come out and support our guys.
Let's see it. Let's do it here at the Mullins Center. When we come back, we're going to visit with Matt Cross as we take to the court with the UMass senior.
We're the team behind your team and your school. We're also the team our customers rely on. Wherever things are getting done, powered up, and made better with Caterpillar equipment in the Northeast, you'll find Milton Cat, the team prepared for every challenge. Milton Cat, always ready.
The reviews are in. The Mass Lottery's first $50 instant game is the must-have scratch ticket of the year.
How do you like them apples?
Players agree. It's the best payout yet.
Show me the money! Woo!
Lottery Quarterly raves a grand prize like we've never seen. Massachusetts makes history again. $1 billion extravaganza. Now playing at a lottery retailer near you.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
And welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider. We're going to walk the court with UMass forward Matt Cross. Matt, thanks for taking the time. How you doing?
Appreciate it. Good. How are you?
Ready for some questions?
Of course.
All right. Tell us about this season that you're in. How have you developed as a player from your first year at college to where you are today?
I would say the biggest thing is just more mature, physically, mentally. Because you come in as a freshman, most people are the best player at their college, high school, or wherever their AAU team, whatever it is. So just maturing, realizing that there's many good players on the court now, and learning how to play as a team and learning the game ins and outs.
You are a ferocious offensive rebounder, and you are tenacious on the court. Where does that come from? And are you a different person when you step in between these lines?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm like completely different. I'm like goofy off the court. But I think it just comes from, my family. That's just the way my mom, my brother, my sister, my dad, that's how they all play. That's what they like. That's what they preach. And then kind of just the area. That's the kind of the Massachusetts brand, the Boston brand. So I think it's just in the DNA.
How many tattoos do you have?
Just one. This is my first one. Yeah, I got to finish the arm.
Tell us about it.
So basically, I've always wanted one for like 4 years, but I was terrified. So it took about 4 years to actually go through with it. And I kind of just went all in for the first one. I didn't go small. And I knew I wanted a nature one, and it was just a matter of what I wanted. You know, I like wolves, so it's kind of like a little wolf in the reflection of the big wolf, like kind of like when he was older. Or some people see it as him looking at when he was younger.
Depending on which way you're looking.
Exactly.
I like that. You've got a new group of guys here. What have you learned about them? What do you like about the new teammates that you have, especially with 7 freshmen on this team?
Yeah, no, we're young, but the thing is, you wouldn't know the way we play. I mean, they are ferocious players as well. I mean, they like just get it and go. And in practice, they bang with the older guys all practice, make us compete hard, keep us on our toes. And they work really hard. They're in the gym 24/7. They listen to coach. They want to get better, and it's just really fun to play with them. As you can see, we're scoring the ball really well. We're just trying to capitalize on what Frank likes, which is defense.
Last one for you. We know you on the court. What are the things that interest you here at UMass off the court, and things that you might be working towards in terms of when your playing days are over?
I was taking a different major over at my other school, so I ended up completing 2 majors and just maybe be able to stay in sports. It depends on what it is, though. I mean, I'm a guy that can't really sit behind a desk. I need to move, so you never know. Maybe I'm a construction man in UMass, at Massachusetts somewhere.
TV analyst for basketball someday?
Maybe.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
And welcome back one final time to the UMass Sports Insider with our Coffee with a Coach presented by Dunkin'. We've got head coach Mike Leffler from UMass Women's Basketball joining us now. Coach, how you doing? Good to see you. A little bit tanner coming back from Cancun. How's it going?
Jay, great. Thanks for having me here, Nathan, as well. Obviously we're going through it a little bit as a team, as a program, with our 1-7 start. And obviously buzzsaw schedule out in Cancun. But as I told our team, after the 3rd game, I was proud of the way we competed against Washington State, who was potentially a Sweet 16 team, and against Maryland. I thought we did a lot of positives, things we could learn from, take from, and then as we move forward.
Obviously, the schedule is really tough, like you mentioned, but also you've been dealing with a lot of injuries. You've got a player sitting out due to transfer rules. You've only had 7 healthy players. How has that impacted your team building in the early stages?
Well, I don't know if it's impacted the team building. It's certainly impacted the execution on the basketball court. Last week with the help of Jess George, we were able to finally go 5-on-5 against each other. As you know, we've had a really great group of practice guys that have been a part of our program for all my time here. So it's given us the opportunity to play 5-on-5 and to work on things 5-on-5 against the practice guys. But you lose that competitive edge when you're not going against each other every single day. So hopefully we can start getting back to that, because we haven't had that all year. But again, no excuses. We just got to keep showing up every day, buying into the things we talk about every day, and continue to get better.
Freshman Lily Talalay was inserted into the lineup for the first time to start against Green Bay. What have been your impressions of her? I know we talked about her in the summer and the impact that she could have on your program.
Well, I think she's been certainly a sponge at practice. There's a willingness to get better. She is all in on UMass women's basketball, which is great to see, as all of our freshmen are, which is really nice. It's a great feeling to have. For her, she had 14, obviously a career high against Maryland. Huge positive for us. If you can have a freshman post player score double figures in any game, let alone Maryland, that's a big step forward for her, and hopefully she can continue to build off of it.
You're down in Cancun. You play 3 games in 3 days against really high-profile opposition. What was the experience like down there on the Riviera?
Yeah, the experience was really good. I told our team going into the tournament, obviously we have opportunities to get better here and opportunities to compete, but the trip was also to spend time together and to have some fun. I didn't want them to lose sight of that fact, and I think we did all of those things, especially in our final 2 games. Against Green Bay, our first game, I was disappointed with how we came out and how we competed really for all 40 minutes. But I challenged our team afterwards, and I thought they responded positively in the Washington State and Maryland games.
Coach, last one for you here. You guys have had to play that tough schedule on the road for the majority of the non-conference. You will be back here at the Mullins Center on December the 10th. What does that do to, sharpen your team for when conference play actually starts?
Well, as long as we're learning, I told the team, success is about learning and growing from past experiences. And if we can continue to take steps, physically, mentally, emotionally through that tough stretch, we'll be in a great position. I think for us, we've played 8 games already. It's got to be tops in the country. I can't imagine teams have played more, but we finally get to get back, yes, to the Mullen Center, but December affords us more practice time. Games are more spread out, and looking forward to take steps forward.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks so much, Nathan.
All right, that'll do it on this episode of the UMass Sports Insider. Big thanks to everybody for joining us throughout here inside the Mullen Center. Download the UMass Athletics app to get all the updates, schedules, and scores. My broadcast partner, Nathan Strauss, Coach Leffler, and our entire crew, my name's Jay Burnham, saying so long from Amherst.